Hello and welcome to another Planet Destiny video. Today is Friday, January the 30th. And guess what? It's Xur Day. Xur is located over by the speaker, by that giant doorway that never seems to open. Today is another kind of disappointing day, but some of you guys may find some upgrades, so we'll go ahead and cover those for you. Starting off, we have the Mark 44 Stanicides, 134 upgradable to 144 strength. Pretty high stat roll on those. Personally, not a huge fan of these boots. I'm getting ready to do the review on them. They're just kind of underwhelming. The shoulder charge duration increase is really small. It's not anything significant. Personally, only get these if you're looking for something to get you to level 32. Otherwise, you should probably pass on them. Don't Touch Me gauntlets. 76 upgradable to 82 discipline. It's kind of a low stat roll for gloves. So I think he sold these previously. I believe they had a much higher stat roll on them. Taking damage from a melee attack makes you briefly invisible, increase reload speed with special weapons, and increase super energy gain from killing minions of the darkness. Personally, these gloves are really fun for certain encounters in PvE. Pretty much enable you to effortlessly solo the first encounter in Crota's End. Aside from one small thing at the end where you have to deal with an ogre, you can just run through and the Don't Touch Me gauntlets will pretty much keep you invisible the entire time. They're really fun to mess around with in PvE. However, PvP, they're not really going to work there. I've never actually seen someone successfully get away while using Don't Touch Me gauntlets. Moving on, we have Starfire Protocol. Again, hey, it's the new Voidfang vestments. Good job, sir. Intellect 134, upgradable to 144. Decently high roll on that. Gain additional fusion grenade, carry more ammo for fusion rifles, and carry more ammo for heavy weapons. I like this chest piece. This is a higher stat roll than it's been in the past. I said it once, I've said it again. It's a mediocre chest piece, truthfully. It's a very niche perk with having to get double fusion grenades. It does allow you to get things like Angel of Light or the other one that causes your stuff to put a dot on people. Otherwise, it's not really that amazing. Moving on, we have Dragon's Breath. Again. Looks like they're just cycling through all the Dark Below exotics now. Is actually probably the best exotic that's come out in the DLC. It's a very solid rocket launcher. It just happens to lack tracking or proximity detonation. And while it does leave a nice big solar flare upon detonation, usually the stuff that you've hit with it is already dead. So the solar flare doesn't really do a lot of work unless the enemies are just really kind of unaware of it. In PvE, the enemies will kind of move out of it, and in PvP, I've yet to actually see anyone knowingly move into one of the solar flares. Pick it up if you're looking for a new rocket launcher or a new toy to play with. It's only 17 strange coins, so personally, go ahead and pick it up. If they happen to buff it in the future, then hey, you'll be one step ahead. Then this week, it looks like we have exotic glove engrams. Awesome. And then we have exotic shards. For upgrades, Mask of the Third Man, decently high stat roll on that. Omkara's Spine, it's a pretty low stat roll for these. So out of the hunter ones, since Crota's End does require you to kind of have this one perk that replenishes health when you pick up an orb, I'd probably pick up Mask of the Third Man. I used my other one on my hunter, even though it put me down to level 31 and it's for a Blade Dancer. That one perk makes that fight a hell of a lot easier. Omkara's Spine stat roll is a little bit too low for me to really recommend it. Helm of Inmost Light, 118 upgradable, 127 strength. And Crest of the Alpha Lupi, 124 upgradable to 134 intellect. Decently high stat rolls on both of these. I believe that's actually one of the maximum rolls that you can get for the helm there. And the chest is pretty high as well, not as high as it could be. Go ahead and pick up either one of these. Honestly, I'd prioritize Helm of Inmost Light because it is good in both PvP and PvE for a Striker Titan. Really good helm. I'd definitely recommend picking this one up if you haven't already. Skull of Dire Omkara, 111 intellect, upgradable 119 intellect. And then Sunbreakers, 103 upgradable to 110 intellect. Decently high stat rolls on both of these. Xur needs to get around to actually selling this for once. Come on. I'd really like to actually have that in my collection. And Sunbreaker is actually a pretty high stat roll on those. So hey, if you don't have a pair of unupgraded Sunbreakers already, go ahead and get those. Both of the Warlock exotics this week are worth upgrading. For weapons, we have Suros Regime, Thorn, Universal Remote. That's the last thing I need. Pocket Infinity, Icebreaker, and Super Good Advice. Suros Regime, pretty much best auto rifle in the game now that Necrochasm is out, and been proved to be very underwhelming. So, if you haven't upgraded yours, I'm going to go ahead and upgrade mine a little bit later. And then Icebreaker, always good to have them at 302. All of my Icebreakers are already at 302 now, so I'll be foregoing the upgrade process this week on them. For telemetries, we have Hand Cannon, Fusion Rifle, and Rocket Launcher. Blue Plasma Drives, and then the Green Emerald Coil Drive. Sadly, he is lacking the Heavy Ammo Synthesis. I hope that means the fix is coming soon from Bungie. Like I said, guys, there's another kind of disappointing week this week, but hopefully, you know, some of you guys can get some upgrades out there. He sold all this stuff before, so maybe if you guys missed it the first time, you can pick it up. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. This has been Patrick Casey with PlanetDestiny, your guide to the Destiny universe.